morning, everyone, and welcome to the Renew podcast. I am Kristen Andre, and I am here today with my trusty sidekick, the marvelous Miss Mendoza, and we are continuing our focus on renewing your health and wellness. So this morning, we are going to talk about positivity because since Miss Mendoza is always positive, always positive.
I do try to be.
You do
try.
That's true. And you do. And I do as well, even though I'm not. But I think online we are. And we've had this conversation. Yeah. So I felt like this was a really good topic as we're almost rounding out our month. Now, next week, we're wrapping up health and wellness. And my friend Kwabi's coming in to talk about nutrition and not indulging in overeating in the holidays. So she'll be with us next week on Thanksgiving week, which I think is perfect timing.
Yes.
Before we all go into turkey season or tofurkey season if you're a vegetarian.
Yeah, no, I was really glad that we were talking about positivity today. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if it was health, I'd have to tell you about the Reese's peanut butter cup that I had.
That is not in, night. I mean, we'll keep it positive, but that's not in alignment with your Orange Theory goals right now.
But I went to Orange Theory like a couple hours before that.
Okay, so it's offsetting it. Well, at least, all right, so you're maintaining the positive attitude, so.
Oh, that's true.
That's good.
That's true.
All right, so let's talk about this positivity because we had, I don't know if you read this in the news or you might have seen it. There was an election recently in our country. It was a little bit, I think it made like page 6, but it has people all in their fields.
It does.
And
we've been in our fields.
We've been in our fields. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, not just the election capped off. I mean, honestly, the election was the way to cap off 2020.
Yes,
and now that it's behind us, whether you think it's behind us or not, let's just move forward. I mean, I think we can all admit we have had a crap year. Can I say crap? Am I allowed to say?
Oh, yeah.
We've had a crap year. We really have.
Yeah.
So how can we shift? Let's talk about how we can shift and make it in the year strong. In the year, because I want everybody listening to end on a positive note.
Let's do it.
All right. So here's my first thought.
Okay.
We have got to, and I talked about this a little bit in the book, we've got to get rid of all the negative people, news, things that we feed ourselves. And I said this last week with Lisa. All of our diet consists of what we're consuming, right? Yeah. Food, social media, people, all that stuff.
Yes.
But so we're allowing it, when I say we, I mean the general public, we're allowing the negativity in. We have a choice.
Yeah.
Right?
We really do.
Crappy things are going to happen, but we have a choice on how we react to them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what do you do when crazy stuff happens?
So, you hear and you read a lot that everyone says to turn off social and the news. I feel like I naturally do that.
Okay.
And I say that because I still feel like I keep abreast of what's happening. Like I know what's happening. But I don't listen to it 24/7.
Okay.
I break it up. So like for me in the morning, number one for me, I'm an early riser.
Yes.
That also
still don't get that, but yes, you are.
So that sets the precedent for the rest of my day.
Okay. Fair.
It's kind of like good in, good out, trash in, trash out. I always listen to a podcast in the morning.
Okay.
Be it
this one, the Renew podcast.
The
you
Renew.
Listen to that? Okay.
I listen to leadership something. I will listen to spiritual something. Like I mix it up each morning because there's 5 days that I'm getting ready every week for sure. Saturday and Sunday don't count. And I'm always listening to something different.
Okay.
That's I'm either learning or it's inspiring me, and that sets off my day. Like in the morning, getting ready, putting my makeup on, whatever the case.
So you start with something positive that you know is going to be positive.
100%.
And I think I don't watch. We've talked about this. The only TV I watch is Hallmark and Nicholas Sparks. I mean, could we get more positive than that? It is positive. And we're moving into Christmas season. Although I've been watching Christmas movies since February. Yeah. So anyway, and one of the Hallmark stars, I started following him on the Instagram. Nice. He's precious. His wife, I've started following her too. They are like a couple goals. They may be our new Rachel and Dave since Rachel and Dave split. I'll let you know about that later.
Please do.
But with that said, starting the day without news. Like I know growing up, my mom or dad would always have the news on in the background.
Yeah.
And that might have been okay back in the 70s and 80s, but now the news is horrible. I mean, there's not a lot of feel good stuff. Yeah. So I think if you're starting your day with something negative, that would be the first place to start.
Yeah.
So whether it's a podcast or a book or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people go to bed with it. Like it's the last thing because you're getting the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever news, and then you're waking up.
Who's going to bed at 6 and 7 p.m.?
Well, that's
you are.
Yeah, well, close, but okay, the 9 or 11 o'clock news. Anyway, that's the last thing you're consuming at night a lot of the time, or you're on your phone. And then it's the first thing in the morning. Yeah, I could see where you're book capping your day with negativity.
If we think of our day as bookends, then what we start with and what we end is critical.
100%.
So whether it's a podcast or whatever, I'm guilty of being, I'm on social a lot. You guys know that. I love it. But I've told you that before. I've curated, it's all algorithms, right? We found that from watching the movie. I only click on follow positive stuff. So my feed stays pretty positive.
Yep.
If you're going to be negative, Nelly, you are hidden. I may still be friends with you, but I'm not seeing your stuff.
Right.
So for all you people going, you never comment, it's because I don't see your stuff because you're being negative. So step it up.
Yeah.
But you have a choice. I mean, my choice is always just not to consume the negative stuff or not to turn on the news. So I feel like a lot of people just they're making the choice to stay on and to see the negative. I had this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and I had noticed, because he's somebody that I follow, and I was like, okay, you're not on Facebook anymore. He's like, I had to turn it off. I had to deactivate.
Yeah.
So, and he said, and I was like, oh, I said, so you're off for good? And he goes, no. He said, I do that every so often, because you can deactivate your account.
Yes.
And then when you reactivate it, it comes back with all your friends or whatever. But I've never done that. But he says he does it every so often. He goes, I just get to the point where it's too much of a time suck. It's too negative, so I just deactivate it. And I was like, oh, I mean, I guess I've heard of people doing that, but this is somebody closer to me, so I was like, that was interesting. But that's what he said. He goes, I just got where I didn't need that distraction, and I didn't need the negativity.
Yeah.
But it was a conscious choice to make that, which I think is cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not going to be deactivating my accounts. So if you don't want to deactivate, I think you've got to stay positive.
Yeah. Well, and that's, for me personally, I feel like that, to me, that would be saying that the negativity won.
Right.
I just choose to only pay attention to the good things, because there are good things that I like on
for sure
on social media that I don't want to be taken away. Right. Like I like staying connected with you and seeing what you're doing.
Because I'm so fun and positive.
You are. Well, and like a lot of times that's how I find out, like, oh, awesome, Kristen's got a webinar or something like that coming up, because I'm on the feed like that.
Right.
Or, family that are states away that,
I think you can curate it, because I agree. I was surprised when he had said that he, got off social, and that especially that he'd done it before.
Yeah.
He can, this particular friend can get into the negative more. He can get sucked in. So I think you've got to know your limits and know how you work. But I think for most people, there's a satisfaction in staying in the negative for them, or they wouldn't do it. So I'm really curious, kind of with people listening that tend to go to the negative, because it's not me. I don't go there. There's a reward. I mean, people only follow a certain behavior because they're getting something out of it. So I think if you are the type that gravitates to the negative, you got to think, what is this doing for me? Yeah. What am I getting out of it? Do I like drama? I am so non-drama. I hate drama. I will distance myself from drama all day long. I wasn't like that younger. I was like all in the drama, but now it's just like, I don't have time for it. So I feel like some people, maybe it's like it's like the train wreck. They see the train wreck and they want to stop.
Yeah.
Or the car wreck.
That, and I would also say, if you grew up in a negative environment, you just have to work harder not to let it,
because that's your familiar.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you could gravitate toward that if that's just something that you're used to and you're comfortable with.
Okay.
You just have to work really hard not to allow it to suck you in. So if that is you and you do better by saying, I'm going to step away from social media, then back to your point, you have to know that about yourself.
And actually, I think that may be the case there, because with a lot of people that could be, it's like, this is my familiar. I know I'm going to get sucked in. I have to do I just, I let the algorithms do their work and I just stay away. But that's content. I mean, that we're talking about like curated content. There is content does not have feelings. Content does, social media is an inanimate object, even though it sometimes seems like it's not. So we can nip that in the bud. It's 100% in our control. But I also feel like in order to really focus on positivity, there are going to be some people that we need to nip in the bud. And I saw a quote the other day, or a meme or something, and it said, it's okay to unfollow people in real life. Wow. And I thought, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll unfollow all day long. It's easy to unfollow people online, right? Because the cool thing is they don't get notifications. And I've had clients ask me that before, clients that I've managed their social or help them with their strategy. And I'm like, they're like, well, I don't want to be connected to this person. I'm like, well, unfriend them or, unlink in with them. And they're like, well, are they going to know? And I'm like, nope. So the cool thing is you can unfollow people online and they don't know.
Yeah.
Unless they happen to go to your profile.
Yeah.
But unfollowing them in real life takes a little bit of courage.
Right. It does. Yeah.
Have you ever had to unfollow anybody in real life?
Yeah. And that's easy to do with friends and acquaintances. Mm-hmm. Not so easy to do with family.
Yep.
And again, you have to control the controllables.
Control the controllable. Who said that? That is a wise quote, Miss Whitney.
You have to know that going in. So like if we're coming up on the holiday season,
yeah,
it's okay to plan your time around that.
Yeah.
Like go see that family member, but don't hang out for 5 hours. Maybe only hang out for 1.
So there are, and I say this a lot, there are small dose people in all of our lives. So you've got to recognize, all right, this is a small dose person. So a small dose person, you're either cutting your time short, like, hey, I really want to come see you, but oh my gosh, I've only got 45 minutes. I've only got an hour. Or you can kind of look at, if it's a small dose person, besides limiting time, you can also do it jointly. Meaning
with witnesses.
With witnesses. Bring in the witnesses.
Witnesses present.
So
we have Katrina, Frank, Darla, and Lynn watching with us.
Look at this. We got all kind of hello, fellas and ladies. Good morning. So I'd love y'all's comments and seeing what you've done to kind of keep positive and get rid of, especially the negative people. Because negative people are those are the tough ones for me. But I feel like, small dose, I know, I call them the energy zappers. Mm-hmm. We all know who the energy zappers are. We all have them. And whether it's just someone who, it could be a client, it could be a friend, it could be whatever, where you're going, I did see one solution on the interwebs this week, and it said, over Thanksgiving, be sure and bring up politics because it will cut down your Christmas list of the gifts you have to buy. I'm like, okay. But it's true. They're hot button, you guys know, like my, ex-in-laws, my ex-husband's family it's really fun. Usually you have terrible in-law stories. I hated when I got divorced. That's what I miss. Like I had the coolest in-laws. They were awesome.
Yeah.
He was the youngest of 4 kids. So 2 and 2, 2 and 2, three boys and a girl. But when I say 2 and 2, 2 of them were fiercely liberal, 2 of them were fiercely Republican. So holidays were always very interesting.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it wasn't, they weren't doing what people do on social and trying to talk anybody else out of their opinion.
Yeah.
They weren't saying you're an idiot. They may have said you're an idiot, but they did it in jest. And it was a back and forth discussion with a huge amount of respect for each other. And they weren't trying to change them. They were just teasing, and it never got ugly. The holidays were always good. There were it's a big family. Now there's nieces and nephews and all that. But one of the things I thought was so cool about them and that I miss is that there was no negativity. So they could have the most polar opposite views or opinions, but no one ever went to the negative. So that kind of made me think it's a conscious choice. You can sit there and banter and have disagreements. I have friends, I said this during, not to make it all political, I said this during the election. I have friends on both sides of the aisle, fiercely as far apart as they could be. And some of them are negative and some of them are not, on both sides. And it was disheartening to see the ones. I get being so passionate, but you can still be passionate and kind.
Right.
And you can still be passionate and positive.
Yeah.
So if if you're opinionated on something, then the focus becomes, all right, what do I want to say? What is my message? And how can I spin my message positively? And you don't have to break down other people to do that. And I think that's where things start to go negative, is where people start to say, okay, I'm going to really crush another person.
Yeah.
So
100%.
So we have Tom, and we have Michelle says, good morning, ladies.
Hello, Michelle. Tom, we got a lot of people joining in. All right, so you guys comment. Let me know, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to the negative, like staying positive? What's your biggest challenge when we really think about, all right, I got to spin this? Because I sit there and think it is a conscious choice, and I don't know why people can't do it. So there's a reason. There's something people are getting out of the negative that I'm struggling with, I think.
Yeah.
So my tendency is just like, I'm just not going to be around them, cut them off. But I don't know that that's the right thing either. Have you ever cut somebody off that like you're like, all right, I need this person out? Like if it's an energy zapper.
Yes, but it's worth having the conversation with that person of why, right? Like if you give them the opportunity, if you're like, hey, I always, when I leave you or our conversations or we hang up the phone, I just really feel drained.
Yeah.
And just tell them the way I feel like you look at things are really negative. And maybe ask them why.
Yeah.
And then maybe they can tell you. But then, I mean, in that sense, at least you've tried, right? Like you can go to bed at night knowing I communicated with this person, tried to save the relationship in some form or fashion. But if they continue to, because it really can, it's like a fungus.
Yeah.
It can really, and if it starts to impact you, then that's where it's
I don't like funguses.
Issue.
Fungi are not my friend. I don't even eat mushrooms because they're fungus.
Out.
So I can't. There's spores and fungi. I can't do it. But it's true because we're doing, sometimes it's hard to have that conversation. I mean, it's easier. This is why the term ghosting has come up, is because people are, now I have not been through the ghosting that I know of. I don't know. Maybe probably because I don't date, but maybe I'm scared of the ghosting. Maybe that's why I'm not dating. It's not.
You just put that on your profile.
I just put that on my profile. Don't ghost me.
Just tell me.
But think about that with ghosting, because that's a thing now, right?
Yeah.
It's like, he ghosted me. I'm like, what do you mean he freaking ghosted you? Grow a pair and call somebody.
Exactly.
But I think that's what it is it's become easier to avoid real conversations, difficult conversations, than it has been just to be honest. So people start ghosting, and they ghost now. And I'm joking about the personal or the dating thing, but it happens in business too.
It does.
Like you'll approach a prospect, because I'll have a lot of clients like, well, I called them and they didn't call me. You guys, it's common courtesy to return a phone call.
Just let me know.
Yeah, a no is okay. Like I always tell my clients that especially if you're in sales, I'd rather have a no than a ghost.
Yeah,
I'd rather have tell me no, totally fine.
Yeah,
but don't just kind of go off in la la land.
Yeah.
So for all the ghosters out there, anybody been ghosted? For all the ghosters out there.
Tom says, I'm in sales, been ghosted before was a term.
Yeah. So all right. So Tom, I agree with you, because especially in sales, especially, finance or any other kind of sales, what's interesting is a lot of my coaching clients will get hung up on that. They're like, well, I'm like, you've got to understand that if they ghost you after a while, it's a no. Do you want to be persistent? Yes. Do you want to keep trying? Absolutely. But some people are just never going to have the gumption, should we say gumption, to kind of step up and say, all right, look, I'm not going to do business with you. And not that it's a bad thing. I mean, like I said, I'd rather get a no.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, you don't want that person anyway.
No, exactly. And this is the same thing with the ghosting in relationships. And I would say this goes with any relationship, personal, professional, anything.
Yeah.
If you have to chase someone, they are not your person.
Yeah.
Right? You should never have to chase after someone. Now, in business, you're going to have to be persistent. You're going to have to go through your whole sales process and make sure you're bringing value, but we shouldn't chase. I mean, all of us should be above chasing.
I mean, if they're ghosting you now, maybe they're going to ghost you when you're trying to get payment.
That's true.
Or you get in that relationship, or you're already having those connection issues. Well, when you have a real problem in the relationship, they're going to ghost that too, and then you're never going to resolve it. Yeah, I don't
exactly. Well, Tom says in business that companies do it all the time. Is it acceptable? So, and then he also said he moves on and contact their competitors. I like that.
Yeah. Nice.
So, I mean, that's true. It's if you're calling on somebody from a business standpoint, heck yeah, go after their competitors, go after whoever. But if, companies do it all the time, I feel like, at least in sales, I'm a relational person. I'm not a transactional person. So most of the clients that I coach that are in sales are in professional services. So it's more relationship focused. I don't chase. I really don't. He just said that don't chase. If they want you, they'll chase you. I agree. You need to set yourself apart and let them see you and say, all right, this is somebody I like, I want to do business with. The right people will find you.
Yeah.
Your people will find you.
Lynn says boundaries are important to me. I feel like ghosting without communication is less respectable.
Totally agree. And I agree. And like, again, personally and professionally, but Lynn, to your point, this is why it's important not to chase people, whether it's a client or prospects or whether it's somebody you're interested in. If they are ghosting you, they don't respect you. They don't respect you enough to have a conversation. Or they aren't, I don't want to say ballsy, but ballsy enough to have a conversation, which means they're not a good communicator. If somebody can't communicate what they're feeling or anything like that, and if you're the type, now some people aren't, maybe So for all the people ghosting people, let's do a website where we can pair the ghosties with the ghosters. And this is it's going to be called the Ghost Dating app. So if you just want to like date, don't like it, everybody disappears. I don't know. Any techie people out there want to start a new business? I'm not signing up for it, but
I really feel like, like TLC's I don't want no scrub. I don't want no ghost.
I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
I don't want no scrub. Okay, we're gonna play.
The band. Oh, good Lord! Is this another song? I thought you meant like the Learning Channel television.
That the band.
We've got to have heard of them. We've really got to school me on this. But
I have a question. Do you guys clean out your contact list at the end of the year? I know we're talking about negativity and positivity. Yep. Do you guys do that just like your Facebook? You clean it out once a year to.
So I actually recommend with my clients that they go through like their LinkedIn and their Facebook business once a quarter and clean it out. I will clean out negative people in real time though. My challenge with my personal Facebook is you hit caps. So I'm kind of at some caps where I can't really, I'll clean out people that are, if you're negative, you're gone. But if I don't know you or don't engage with you or interact, I'll clean it out too, just to free up space for people that I do know or that I do engage with. But I would say, yes, you should definitely do it at least once a year. If you're using LinkedIn for business, once a quarter. I mean, just go through your connections once a quarter and see who you're not. I always scrub it against my client list to see who am I not connected with. So, every week I make a note to anybody new I've met, I try to connect with them. And anybody that's driving me nuts, sayonara.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I do that more with my phone. I'm like you, if something is happening in the moment that I see that I don't like, I take care of it right then. I either like hide the notifications or just
and it's easy to do that, but I do think you should clean it up because now it's not necessarily a lot of it is negativity. Negativity should be real time. Like if somebody's driving you nuts, get rid of them, hide them, do something. If you don't want to unfriend them, just hide their updates. You won't see them. You won't have to see them. Like I can still see people I'm connected to if I look them up. But, I think we were talking about, Tom says the snooze feature on LinkedIn is great. Yes. yes.
And then Lynn
Lynn, Lynn said birthday reminders are a great way to filter out. Yeah, because you're going to see these people pop up on your feed every day. I go through birthdays in the morning and try to save my happy birthday post. Sometimes I did a few maybe in the car this morning.
Unless you don't have your birthday up there, because if you don't know me, I don't want you telling me happy
you know
birthday.
What? I didn't. All right, now here's what's
don't
funny.
Don't be talking to me one time a year.
Talking about positivity, because I like the birthday posts. I think they're fun. Now, they are tiring because you have to go through and, I comment to everybody, so I'm like on my birthday, I'm like, I'm worn out. But your birthday is not on Facebook because I was doing, I have a tracking list of client engagement just so I know when my clients' birthdays are. And yours I had to ask because you do not. I know it.
No.
I know it. So if anybody needs to know Whitney's,
better text me
I actually know it.
Don't be on my Facebook page.
But that's true. So let's talk about that because positivity has levels, right? And I did mention this on my birthday. I love the Facebook posts that say happy birthday. I think that's really sweet. Right. I like that. I don't respond to direct messages, as we've said, but I notice those as well because you don't get as many. And then there's the text. That means somebody knows me enough to have my phone number.
Yes.
So that's kind of the next level.
And actually cares about
me. And then they text.
More than on December 13th.
Exactly. And you just spilled it. and then the next level is the phone call. Like where they actually physically take time to pick up the phone and have a conversation or leave you a voicemail. So there's kind of tiers. And what's interesting is those are deeper communications the higher you get. But that also for me, the higher that communication got, the more positive I felt from that. So for me, since I am relationship focused, I like deep conversations. I like connection. Now, maybe not everybody's like that. So maybe some of the ghosters or the people who are focused on the negative, they either don't want conflict or they don't want the conversation.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I don't know. So we've got, LinkedIn updated the software so it's easier now. And then Lynn's saying with the birthday algorithms, it gets you on their feed again. Oh, that's right. Because if you comment on their post, you're going to start seeing this. You may have to rehide some negative Nellies again.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. See? Mm-mm.
Yeah. But my biggest thing is we have far too many negative things happening in our world, and the focus is only on that. So whether it's, birthdays or any way to celebrate, that's where we need to focus on. You know, in LinkedIn, if we go back to LinkedIn for a minute, we have a section where we can see where somebody was mentioned in the news. We can see in the notifications, it tells you who got a new job and who got a promotion. So the positive things are there. Yep. The birthdays, the anniversaries, the promotions, the media, all of that's there. So it just baffles me that we kind of glaze over that and we're automatically looking. I don't know if we're looking for people to not win. And I hate that. I hate that society is kind of, not all of it, but a lot of society has come where they're just waiting for somebody to mess up.
Yeah.
And if we could all just switch that. That's my hope. That's my wish for the end of this year, the end of the year that shall remain nameless. As we move into next year, is let's take the good stuff. Let's focus on the good stuff. Let's force the media outlets and the news outlets and the TV people and the podcasters and let's force them to focus on the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because right now the good stuff doesn't sell, and it should.
Yeah. Well, there's now what I'm about to say. There are multiple studies out there that show like terminally ill or patients or someone that's gotten a sad diagnosis or disease, whatever the case is. If they view it with positivity, they have a better chance of healing and living longer. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to go jump off this balcony, lift up my jacket, and fly down to the bottom because I positively think it.
Right.
But it does prove that how you view the situation can truly impact your life, which is why 100%. It's important.
But all right, so that's a good point. And I'd love us all to think about this. Now you're going to laugh. There's a country song.
Of course there is.
Because, all right, I have a friend that's into country that's getting me more into country. So we'll listen to songs and I'll sing. It is called Live Like You're Dying.
I know this
by
one.
Tim McGraw.
Yes, I know this one.
It is fantastic. I literally have it on my playlist. I may have said this before. I do a new playlist sometimes once a quarter, but at least once a year. And it's titled like in my iTunes, like 2020 or Q4 2020. But I just put whatever song I'm kind of into. It's the most eclectic playlist. I've literally got like Tim McGraw and Montgomery Gentry to Pink and The Who. I don't know. It's just weird. But this song, I heard it. My friend Tanya and I went to the beach this summer, and it came on the radio. And I believe I'd heard it before because there's a clip of it that they played in Pitch Perfect. And I was like, oh, wait, I know this song because it was in the medley in Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
The whole song is fantastic. But the message behind the song is this guy gets a diagnosis. And it talked about all the things he did, skydiving, Rocky Mountain climbing. I won't sing it for you because that'd be really bad. Rode a bull. But all the things like if you knew that you were dying, you wouldn't focus on the negative.
Right.
You would go after the things you wanted to go. You would go for every goal and you'd try to check off everybody. I would be out doing karaoke if I knew I wasn't going to be here. Maybe not, but still, that's how we need to live life, is to live like we're dying. Maybe we need to make this the theme song of 2021, because I feel like, a lot of people did die this year. A lot of people did have big challenges, but the people that stood up and said, all right, bring it, I'm still going to push forward, were the ones that I most admired this year.
Yeah.
So if you're surrounding yourself with the right people and you do that, they're gonna jump on board. They're gonna support you and challenge you and cheer for you. It always says there's a quote we did before, like if your circle doesn't clap when you win, you've got the wrong circle. Or you don't have a circle, you have a cage.
Yeah.
So that's what, as we move forward, we all need to remember from a positive standpoint is clap, cheer, ride a bull, jump out a plane, whatever it is. But the live like you're dying thing is, I'm curious why people don't live like they're dying until they're dying. Because not all of us get a heads up.
But what's so funny is we are dying.
Right. For sure.
Every day.
That's what I'm saying. But and not everybody gets the heads up. What I love about the song is he had a heads up. So he said, oh my gosh, I need to go do these things. But why do we not say, I need to go do these things? We all know we're going to die. We all know we're taking a dirt nap at the end, right? Yeah. We just don't know when that nap comes.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So I do feel like we go through not the motions, but the minutia. Like I was thinking that this year has caused obviously a lot of us to pause and reevaluate. I've shifted a lot of things in my business. I've shifted a lot of things in my life, with my kids, everything. So I took the time to look and figure out, all right, what is not aligned with me? What is not aligned with where I want to go? And I've said this a gazillion times, 2020 gave us all the opportunity to do that, to pause and figure out, all right, what do I want this to look like?
Yeah.
And my challenge to each of you guys listening is like, make it positive. What do I want this to look like positively? And I think so much we go, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want that. Instead of going, I do want this, I do want this, I do want that. So as soon as we say, I don't want, we're focused on the negative. So if we can shift our thinking to, okay, I want this. I want to go after this. Because we all know what we want.
Yeah.
Like I know
That's so
exactly,
true.
I know exactly what I want, but so some I'll talk about, some may remain unsaid, but we know it, right? So what holds us back? And it's usually the negative thinking in our head that's like,
Yeah, it really
I don't
is.
know. I don't know. What do you think, Miss Whitney?
I agree.
Dirt.
So I've
Lynn
got.
said dirt.
I know.
Lynn,
I
I'm
saw
glad
that.
you like my dirt nap. I heard that when I was a child. It's true though, but we just don't know when it's coming.
Yeah.
And so what do you want to do before the dirt nap?
Yeah.
Maybe that's another country song. Life before the dirt nap. I'm gonna need to call in my
that
country artist friends.
Dirt nap.
I know.
That
all right.
even
So my
sounds
friend, all right,
country.
Ricky, I've got my friend Ricky Gunn, who is a country artist. So I am going to reach out. I think we could do something with this.
It's fantastic.
All right.
I'm gonna go right. I don't want no ghosts.
I don't want no ghost and dirt nap. I think are our new country hits. I
That's
will reach out
fantastic.
to my country music friends and see what we
That's
can come up
awesome.
with there.
We should do a music video.
We could do a music video. I think Lynn liked it. So I think, Lynn, you've already been cast in the thing. Tom's commenting. If you like Dirt Nap, we'll cast you in there too. But I feel like our opportunity right now is to figure out what we want before the Dirt Nap.
Yeah.
What we want, not what we don't, what we want and what we're going to do to go after it. Because I did a post this morning on the gram about taking the leap. And I feel like so many of us know, and I saw without question, I'm curious if you guys agree with this or not, during 2020, I saw who was willing to take the leap, and I saw the people that were willing to sit there and go, oh, 2020, it's just 2020. So the difference between those two people are who's viewing it positively or seeing the positive, and
Yep.
who is viewing it negatively. So if you're willing to take the leap, all of us know what we want. I mean, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will say, I had it was a coach I worked with one time, and his question was always like, what do you want? And then you'd answer the question. He goes, well, what do you want? You'd answer the question again. He's like, what do you really want? I'm like, you're asking me the same flipping question, right? But what was interesting is the more he asked the exact same question, the more real you got with your answers. So after 5 minutes of BS and fluff with what you want,
Yeah.
you get into what you really, really want. So if you're questioning yourself going, I have no idea, you do have an idea. So keep asking yourself over the question over and over until you get to something real.
Yeah.
And that's the part I want people to leap on. Because that's the positive stuff, right?
Yeah. It is.
Maybe it's a little, I mean, I don't know, is that too deep for people? Are people scared to go there? What's scaring them, Whitney?
The fear of not achieving it.
Yeah.
Because when you say it out loud.
Yep. Makes it real.
Yeah.
Yep. And we talked about that a little bit in You're Not For Everyone. A lot of what holds people back is the fear of failure.
Yep.
And do you remember the other one? Fear of success.
Yep.
So sometimes it's, what if I don't do this? But sometimes it's, oh, holy crap, what if I do?
Yep.
So, Tom, you mentioned being in sales. A lot of the clients I work with in sales, their challenge isn't that they are afraid they aren't going to hit it. Their challenge is they're afraid they are going to hit it. And then like, oh gosh, what am I going to have to do now? Where's the bar go to then? So, especially with people with sales quotas, it's like, I hit this. Now next year I got to do more. And the next year I got to do more than that. And that scares them. So they almost start
Yep.
to hold back a little bit. So I know it's a little, we're talking about positivity, but that's really what it goes to. If we can focus on not the fear, but the opportunity and the reward that comes with kind of hitting what we want to hit.
Yeah.
It's what we want.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
It is. What you want, Willie? Whitney? Willie? Did I just call you Willie? Good Lord, I'm stuck on it's your new name. Stuck on country.
Willie, I've been called
So,
worse.
I mean, when we think about it, and you guys listen, what do you really want? Not just out of first of all, the rest of this year. And I really want everybody out there to switch to positive, consume positive content, listen to positive music or movies, or watch, if you can find them, positive stories on the news. If you can't, switch to the Hallmark Channel. They will be airing Christmas movies. They've already started. I've not downloaded the movie tracker on my app yet, but I'm gonna. So, those are all positive.
I'm already excited to rewatch the Christmas movies I watched last year.
All right. So I have to, speaking of positive, all right, so let's talk about that. If you don't know everybody knows what makes them happy, what makes them smile. For me, it's Hallmark, dark chocolate, wine. I mean, and shoes. Shoes make me smile, right?
Yes.
So it may be trivial, it may be something bigger, but know what it is that makes you switch to the positive.
Yeah.
I always have fun. I have fun with my girlfriends. Like anytime I go out to eat dinner with my girlfriends, they're like, we always have fun. We laugh and we cut up and we, I have a couple girlfriends who have those just robust laughs. Like my friend Timna, who you've met, and my friend Tanya, they've just got these infectious laughs. You can't not have fun.
Yeah.
So everybody has these things where they know just makes them smile, right?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. I've got on my Wonder Woman necklace.
Yes, it's very
Whitney and
nice.
Isaac got me. I know. I love it. I love it. It's my birthday. But it's things like that you just know are going to make. We all know what they are, but force those into your life. Force other people to focus on the positive. I think we could make an impact on the media. It's going to be it's a big old ship to turn. But if all of us just start saying, okay, look, we're not going to consume negative content anymore. We're going to consume positive. I think we could make a really, really, really good impact on the world.
Agreed.
We need more good juju.
We do. More good juju.
More good juju. All right. So Lynn just said Tanya. Yeah. See, Tanya, she does because Lynn is friends with the same. But this is what I mean is every single person out there has an activity, a song, a person, anything. You have the energizers. You have the people that are going to lift you up when you're down, are going to put a smile on your face, can switch you to the positive no matter what you've got going on. Now, you need to make sure in return you're doing the same thing for them. But we know who those people are. So my challenge to by listening is find that every single day and do that every single day and take the leap. Take the leap.
Love it.
So any parting words for our friends today, Miss Mendoza?
So you saw my quote on LinkedIn yesterday, my Charles McKay. Yes. And I feel like in a way this ties in, right? Because we're talking about cutting off the people who are negative. Mm-hmm. And I feel like sometimes we don't want to do that because we are afraid we're going to create enemies.
Okay.
So
that's true.
Can I read this quote?
You absolutely can read this quote.
It's so good. And it's from The Crown. Well, it's from The Crown. Margaret Thatcher says it in The Crown, but it's really a Charles McKay quote. I love the Crown. Okay. You have no enemies, you say. Alas, my friend, the boast is poor. He who has mingled in the fray of duty that the brave endure, this is really good for 2020, must have made foes. If you have none, small is the work that you have done. You've hit no traitor on the hip. You've dashed no cup from perjured lip. You've never turned the wrong to right. You've been a coward in the fight.
I love that. I read that. I did read that yesterday because you guys put it in.
Chill bumps.
Well, you guys are in our private community too, our Success Blueprint.
Oh, that's true. Isaac
posted it in the Success Blueprint community. So if you guys aren't in that, you need to check it out. But it's good because it's true. It's, are you being a coward? And life is not meant to play small. Life is not. I'm not saying you've got to be this massive, star or whatever. I'm just saying don't play your life small, whatever your life looks like. Don't be the coward. You're going to make some enemies. You're going to do that. I think it's good. It's so similar. Our brains must have been in sync because this morning, I'm going to read you my post from this morning because I think this is it. And I think this kind of summarizes the positivity. So it's okay to have the enemies. It's okay to do that. What's not okay.
Because that means you're doing something right.
It totally means you're doing something right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So here's what I had is quit playing it. And this is on Instagram. So if you guys aren't checking us out on Instagram, do that. But quit playing it safe. Celebrate your wins and celebrate others when they win. Figure out what it is you truly want and go for it. Be relentless in the pursuit of what sets your mind, body, heart, and soul on fire. Life was meant to be lived, not watched from the sidelines. Take the leap. So I think that's a big thing. And so as you're doing that, as you're taking the leap, be positive, help others be positive, and go for it.
I love it. And relentless is that key word. You have to do it every day.
Every single day.
You have to do it every day.
Every
You
single
can't
day.
be positive on Monday and then think
No.
you don't have to try again on Tuesday. It just doesn't work
It's
that
true
way.
because here's the thing. You can get sucked into the negativity void super easy. And, it is okay to be pissed off about things and to be upset about things. That's normal. Set a time limit.
Right.
Like I had a client one day call me and she just had some crazy stuff happen at work and she was ticked. And I'm like, you know what? I would be ticked too. How many minutes you gonna be ticked? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, give me a time limit. And she's like, 20. I'm like, all right, 20 minutes from now, this is out of your head. We're not discussing it anymore. I don't care. I didn't care what the time limit was.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to say 2 years, but, most of us have a time limit. So set a time limit. Say, I am pissed off. I'm going to be pissed off for 3 minutes. Then I got to go. And it's, it's compartmentalizing a little bit, but you've got to feel what you feel. So it's okay to feel it, but cut it off and then switch it over to something that's going to be productive.
Yep.
As you're moving
100%.
forward. So, all right. So marvelous Miss Mendoza, almost wrapping up our November.
I feel positive.
Do you feel positive?
I do.
Well, speaking of positive,
great.
next week we've got Quavi on, my friend Quavi, who is a midlife coach and blogger and food and nutrition wellness. So she's going to wrap up our health and wellness, which we've talked a lot about mental health. And now we're going to be talking about nutrition as we head into Thanksgiving week. So next week, same time, join us. And then December, we are focusing on renewing your finances. So as we slide into the end of the year, this is a great time to have a look at kind of where you sit financially and things you need to look at. And I cannot wait for December because I'm bringing in some heavy hitters in the financial world. So some of my friends and advisors that are around the country, and we're talking some of the top speakers and advisors. So I'm super excited for that. We're going to get some good stuff. So we're going to learn how not to overeat at the holidays, and then we're going to learn how to end the year financially strong. So we head into 2020 wealthy, prosperous, having fun, and staying positive. So
Love it.
Thank you, Miss Mendoza. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until next week, get out there, and start renewing everything you need to renew in your life. Make it a great week.